Hello, Americans, and other friends, subscribers around the world. Again, man. So now it's kind of up and close and personal, huh? Today, man, I thought we'd do a little, Miss Kitty was going to sit down with me, but she's in taking a shower. Tomorrow's her birthday, you know, so the birthday girl, she gets to do whatever she wants. It's not quite here, but, and then she wants to work on vehicles for her birthday. That's her. She wants the kids and stuff and all of us to on dang vehicles, man. I was hoping we were going to go do something fun and exciting. But when your vehicles are down, it's kind of hard to go fishing or something when you have as many children as we do. And as far as on the children note, too, everything's still good. And still, like I said, we got a long road ahead. But right now, things are good. The kids are good. Health is good. We're good. Homestead's good. Idaho's good after the fires, man. We have go over. I'm actually going to talk about. Let's talk about Idaho today. My Idaho. Man, we got a big fire. You know, if you watch the battery's about dead, but if you watch the news and everything on the fires, and not too far from us is Bergdorf Hot Springs. Been going there my whole life. You know, it's a hot springs, you know, that you pay to go in. Bergdorf's an old mine in town, and then it's up by Warren. And I haven't heard, man. Actually, I need to check and see if the fire, because it's actually, they protected, thank you to the firefighters out there, man. Be careful out there. My thoughts and prayers are always with the, you know, the firefighters and everything. But the wind had changed, man, and it was hit. This was 2 days ago, and it was heading straight for Bergdorf, which they've dealt with the fires before and burned before and all that. But they ended up protecting Bergdorf, so Bergdorf's okay, and now it's back to heading towards, I think they said northeast, you know, away from Bergdorf, which actually northeast is towards Warren, so I need to get on and actually see if Warren's affected. That's our biggest fire. And then I might try to clip a couple pictures in here because I got a couple of pictures and stuff of the have a huge, and I haven't checked on it this morning. I need to check on it to see if they ended up making a path. But outside of Riggins, which is just a little bit north of me, you know, that's where we go fishing stuff down the Salmon River, no return and stuff. Big, huge mudslide, and then between Riggins and Grangeville, Idaho. Yes, they had the 95 was blocked off. Man, it happened overnight because we ended up getting these storms. You know, man, it's cold. I mean, it's wonderful out here, man, especially for August 11th. It's crazy, man. I think the low this morning was like 52 or something like that. 74 or something's the predicted high for today, which is just that's my perfect weather, man. I love that, you know, high 60s, low 70s stuff. But anyway, man, and then we had severe warnings till 4 o'clock this morning, or severe warnings yesterday, man. And it dumped, man. It was crazy, and that's why, you know, the mudslides happened, man. The whole hillside coming down and everything, trees and all. And actually, it ended up. Oh man, what the name of the creek there? Anyway, man, the creek, it ended up making a new channel. There was so much water coming, it ended up changing the channel of the creek there and stuff, and going across the road. Creek decided to make the road part of its channel. And then on top of that, why those hit was golf ball hail size, and they were predicting that up here. We were under severe warning for that for hours and hours. And it did hit down there in the Riggins area, you know, big ones, man. I watched a little video, man, of some people in a Subaru and their golf ball, man, and it was hitting their front windshield, just smashing, man, putting, you know, like rocks hitting it and stuff, man, smashed out their windshield, just crazy. So that's the happenings as far as weather and today and all that. I was reading some other stuff, you know, and I've talked about all the people moving to Idaho. You know, the count a few months ago or whatever, when I did talk about it, man, they were saying about 2,000 people a month are moving to Idaho. Well, the last, man, I was just reading an article and stuff, and it was saying since the end of spring, you know, and through the summer and stuff, over 4,000 people a month moving to Idaho. What the heck? Idaho sucks, man. Stay out. And I understand why everybody wants, you know, I understand why everybody wants to move to Idaho, but, you know, and us native Idahoans and stuff, man, are pretty dang protective of it. Main thing is we're afraid that wherever they're coming from, and it ain't just one state, you know, and all that. It's from everywhere, man. You know, clear across the country. I completely understand why, you know, why people would want to, you know. I mean, I don't probably help the keep people out either with my videos when I show, you know, this amazing state and country and stuff. You know, I mean, Pacific Northwest is an amazing place. But over 4,000 people a month, man. When I go down to Boise, it is insane, you know, and that's, you know, and it's, man, ranked in all the magazines and stuff. It's ranked #1. You know, I don't read all them fancy magazines and stuff, but I've heard, you know, it's Boise down there is ranked #1 city and all that stuff. And you can get on Google, man, just Google Boise, Idaho, and you know, that's where I was born. That's where I was born. Miss Kitty was born. All my kids were born, all in the same hospital too, man. You know, and you look at Boise and, man, the mountains surrounding it and stuff like that. I mean, it is one of the most beautiful places on the earth, so I can totally understand. But my worry and other native Idahoans' worry and all that is, you know, from wherever they come from, is they're going to bring the riffraff with them, and there's no doubt in my mind as far as, you know, everything from crime to coming in and wanting to change, you know, how we do things up here. And I mean, we're even seeing it, you know, we're in one of the poorest counties in the state, and we're even seeing the changes, you know, up here forever. I mean, our building inspector in our county, little boy, you know, I don't know how many years he's retiring, but you know, he worked, I think it was 2 days, two or three half days a week. That was the building inspector's schedule. And he's training, and they're actually putting on a full-time building inspector for our county up here now because of how much growth. And coming out of our property, we don't go, you know, a certain direction too much. And the other day decided to take a little road, you know, out the backside, or a little drive out the backside, and man, I about wrecked my dang truck. I can't believe how many new builds and stuff there are out here, you know, and I mean, just crazy, you know, and that's up here. And I mean, the thing that our county and stuff is just jobs. I mean, you gotta, you know, unless you're old junker selling crap on eBay and stuff, or have nest egg, or, you know, whatever. I guess that's the one thing that the internet and stuff like that does do, is make you be able to live, you know, further out away from stuff and make a living doing whatever it is you do. But, oh man, it just blows my mind, man, how the growth. Back to our words, like I said, man, so I mean, even up here, you know, when I go out in the hills, and, you know, I was born and raised in these mountains, man. It's change, you know, more humans on this earth, you know, it's change everywhere. It's all there, you know, there ain't nothing you can do about it, man. It's just hang on. But it breaks my heart. I just hope that, that my grandkids will be able to experience, you know, the Rocky Mountains and the Pacific Northwest and everything that, you know, the way I do. And I don't really think they're probably gonna. You know, it'll be a different thing. So we'll see how. The one thing that Idaho, man, that we're lucky is that, excuse me, so many national forests, you know, and protected land, which, you know, people are always trying to get, you know, whether it be fracking or mining or anything else, man, they're always trying to do something to it, you know. And then we had them Texas boys come in and buy up all that. I won't even get into that right now. That's for a later video. You know, nothing against the Texan guys. I mean, man, if I was a billionaire, an Idaho billionaire, I'd be buying it up too. I think it's more so that, it's out-of-staters buying up Idaho, and they didn't just buy land in Idaho. They bought part of Idaho. I mean, it goes all the way down from Boise County and Boise National Forest on up through, Valley County, Adams County, on up, Idaho County. I mean, it is, like I said, it's part of Idaho, not just some land in Idaho. What can you do? This is just all stuff that's on my mind. This is what goes through this old hillbilly's mind, up here. And then, a lot of, what gives you the right? And I ain't even saying nothing. I mean, this is America, man. That's why we all live in America, man. You can move and do and all that stuff where you want. I just don't want you to bring your riff-raff and crap here, man. Keep it the hell out of Idaho. What else can I say about that, And as far as being an Idaho native, man, when I say I'm an Idaho native, I'm part Shoshone. My 6th great grandpa, Grandpa Hawes, which I've talked about before, was 100 years old when I was born, and he passed away at 103, and he was half Shoshone and half French Canadian. Well, he was also in the camp when Sacagawea passed away, and he just remembers as a child, remembers her going through a lot of pain and everything. That's pretty amazing. But my point with that is my ancestors, man, Idaho is part of us. Idaho is just a boundary, man. We got the cool shape and all that stuff. But the Rocky Mountains and the Pacific Northwest has ran through my blood for tens of thousands of years. So am I protective of Idaho and Pacific Northwest and the Rocky Mountains? You bet your butt I am. And I just want to be able for, for my kids, my grandkids, my grandkids, to still be able to get in touch with Mother Nature, and the Mother Earth, and, that's who we are, and it's all part of back to earthers, it's all part of who we are. And so I do get protective, and, sometimes I've offended people and stuff that I've said about people coming to Idaho and stuff like that, and, I'm going to tell you, I'm pretty cool about it, as long as people ain't coming here and trying to, turn us into wherever the heck they came from, and everybody, and I was on that bandwagon and stuff because, and I have nothing against Californians, and I actually worked in Northern California years ago, and Northern California is, man, it's a beautiful, great area. The Southern California, man, I don't want no part of that, and the riffraff that goes on down there. It's a nice place, and if that's your thing, that's awesome and all that, and I have no problem with California, excuse me. But and it's not just them, they're coming from everywhere. So people that are, them dang Californians and stuff, I'm not one of those. I have been in the past and stuff, but I'm not, they're coming from everywhere. I'm not trying to rip on anybody, but as far as some of the Southern California views and the way things are done, I've was with my grandma and Kitty in a restaurant up there in McCall one time eating, and some Southern Californians, you could tell, man, and she was just this about California. Not putting down Californians, man. So, man, I got some good friends down in California, man. He sent me gifts and everything, man. I am not, and he actually, I'd heard his feelings or whatever, and I'm not trying to do that. This is just something that I heard, and it's fact. So, man, that's who, if it's a fact, it's a fact. But, so we're sitting in there, and this lady's talking about, this was actually probably 15 years ago, maybe even a little bit longer, and sitting in there having breakfast with my grandma and Kitty, and you can't not overhear or eavesdrop when they're sitting right behind you. And this lady, she's one of them uppity, better than everybody people. First she's bitching about the service, because up there in McCall, the problem is all these elite come in there, and there's no peon, blue collar, normal people to work in there, so everything's slow. There was one waitress working on that whole restaurant because for normal people, there's, all these elite people want all this fancy service and all this fancy stuff, but nobody like us can afford to live in McCall or Valley County, so there's nobody to work. Back to the story. Squirrel! Back to the story. So we're sitting there, and she's talking, and they just bought a cabin on Payette Lake, probably $1 million bucks or more. And bitching about the water and how they won't let her do whatever with the water. And then she says, well, down in California, woo, man, my grandma almost jumped out of her seat. She didn't say nothing, but my grandma just was like, oh, because and grandma, that's where the Shoshone grandma, my grandma Joe, that's, my grandpa Haas and the Shoshone Indian and all that is that side. Like I said, man, our ancestors.
All right, so I don't know
how much that caught it. Battery went dead because I've been babbling on too much. Get talking about. I know I haven't even touched on the things that I really wanted to touch on, but the video's probably getting long. But anyway, so not sure where I was, but I was talking about the Texans buying up the Potlatch property, which it was kind of a greasy palm kind of wheeling and dealing and stuff, man. I won't even, like I said, I'm not getting into that right now and all that stuff, but the Potlatch, and I believe it was Boise Cascade before that, when the deals was made and stuff, the property was never, it just wasn't supposed to be sold off and everything like it is now, but they found a loophole, and I would have jumped through it too. But anyway, I went and checked out because I hadn't actually been on the other side of the mountain over to the White Licks. If you know the place, man, it's White Licks Hot Spring. It's actually in the books and everything, man. And I've been going to White Licks my whole life, since my grandpa, since I was a kid. White Licks has always been there, man. There's these little shacks kind of like this, they had the little tub, people had made little tubs and stuff, man, all the way back to the 60s. And they, and it's, it was part of the land that they picked up, and those shacks and everything are gone. Tore out, gone, man. So, a thing from my childhood, and that's the stuff that just breaks my heart. But with that said, for the last, man, we used to go there a lot. Back in the motorhome days, we'd go and camp out there and everything. And but for the last 10, 15 years, people were just disgusting in there, man. They'd get in there, they'd camp out of those places, just leave their trash. We'd pick up their trash and stuff, and doing their business all over, and leaving piles of crap, like literally, everywhere, and it's disgusting. So I mean, people do that stuff, man, and we all pay for it, and obviously have lost that hot springs. I mean, they came in with a dozer, man, knocked down the buildings and all that. I mean, obviously you can still see the hot water still bubbling out of the ground, but White Licks is gone, man. So that's pretty sad. So I guess I babbled on enough here, man. I got people trying to do a video here, man. So anyway, son-in-law, man, needs some help loading the big old fridge. So I don't know, I got off on that, man. Mostly just a little check-in, morning coffee visit. Do one probably tomorrow for Miss Kitty's birthday. And check out the links below, man. I've been putting a bunch of stuff on eBay. Still got the sale going on until tonight, and listing a lot of new stuff. Getting ready to go. I'm going to do that pack that I was talking about I got, and that bronze Indian head, and so much, man, just amazing stuff.